getting ready to head over, not for a while, we've got a little bit more to do before we go to Freo and Carlton to kick off this round. Yes, please, Foss.
It was bound to happen after the Chief has devoured his third family-sized capricciosa with hot salami.
Box and all.
A pocket of intestinal gas has erupted.
No.
I don't know if you've ever
If you're going to sit here and make up blatant, absolutely
don't know if you've ever savoured the aroma
like that.
of a primate flatulence, but it is horrendous.
I'm going to club this bloke now. Seriously.
Chief, you've got to stop eating, man. You're just getting big. You're going to swell up and explode.
I had 2 pieces, Sam.
No, you did.
Two beautiful quarter-pounders.
You've had...
Mate, seriously.
The 2 magnificent Big Macs that have been sent in by
copping this,
McDonald's, and we thoroughly appreciate them for serving.
Happy Chief is dissipating.
Well, and fair enough too. Now, Foss, I want to ask you something.
Nasty, angry, vindictive Chief is on the way.
We do a segment, Forsell, on the Rush Hour called Great Names of the 80s, where you track down through the listeners, footballers who have played in your era.
Yeah.
Today we found, eventually, Xavier Tanner from North Melbourne.
I played with him.
Up at Shepparton.
I played with him in Melbourne.
Okay, well, exactly. Well, he's now one of the deputy headmaster of one of the big schools in Shep.
Oh, yeah.
Rang in and talked to us about that, and it was great chatting to him. Anyway, he spoke about Malcolm Blight and Mick Nolan having a smoke in the dressing rooms at the MCG at halftime of a final. Yep. And he said eventually Ron Barassi was a smoker himself.
Yeah, he was
and
too.
And Ron said, if I'm giving up, so you blokes have to as well.
That's right.
So he said at that point, the halftime breaks of the North Melbourne games, there were only about 4 footballers in the rooms because they all went outside to have a smoke. Well, what used to happen in those days, Foss?
I know we've done this before, but in the 60s, Chief. Oh, no. What do you mean, oh no?
We're going to put everyone to sleep now, are we?
No, I'm telling you how the thing has just escalated or improved or evolved. In the 60s, we used to, at three-quarter time and quarter time, they used to bring a tarpaulin out, and we used to sit on it.
Sit on the tarp.
And Tony Polinelli and Roy West, who played in the 60s, Tony used to smoke a pipe, and Roy used to smoke Hallmark cigarettes. And we would drink at three-quarter time to give us...
He didn't smoke a pipe at the quarter-time break.
I'm telling you, this is a bit like the program dance. If anyone used to go to the football in the 60s, to the Geelong games, please verify the fact Tony Polinelli used to smoke a pipe.
What did Tony
He used to smoke Borkham Riff.
Did he have a pouch?
Rum-flavoured and wine-tipped. He used to have it brought out by the trainer.
Pouch of baccy.
A pouch of baccy.
Rum-flavoured and wine-tipped.
He did. A panatella sometimes he'd smoke. And at three-quarter time, Chief, I was 17 at the time, so I wasn't allowed to drink. They'd bring out sherry. We'd have a beaker full...
Turn it up.
You're
You're on the sauce at three-quarter time.
They used to give it to you as a panacea to get you enthused, Chief, as opposed to smelling salts and other things and injections.
Did anyone go back for more than just a wee dram?
You couldn't wrestle the jug out of people's hands. People were pissed. I'll tell you what, there was a huge brawl. It was like at communion. You couldn't get the chalice out of people's hands. Please, if anyone who was around in those days watched Geelong or played for Geelong or was a trainer, please ring in and verify that.
Tony Pinatella sitting there with his
1-3-3-5-3
pipe on, having a puff and a sherry in the other hand.
That is absolutely, I swear.
Of Borkham Riff.
Borkham Riff, that pouch tobacco.
Wearing a robe and slippers, was he?
We used to put on dressing gowns, all of us.
All of you?
All of us, but we do now. You still put on dressing
No
gowns?
one puts a dressing gown on, Foss.
Yes, they do.
Not a person.
No.
And we used to sit in a tarpaulin, and the coach used to wander around and see if you got a beaker full of McWilliams medium Solero.
Sam actually thought they still wore dressing gowns.
No, but you've seen people standing in dressing gowns on the sidelines.
Not for years.
What?
They have tracky tops now, mate.
In
That's
fact,
about it.
Force, sorry, Chief, you were, I think Hawthorn were close to the last club to roll with a dressing gown.
Dressing gowns.
Back in the end of the 80s.
Did you bring one in from your private boudoir, Chief, did you?
You're only 20 years out of date, Sam.
Mean cut of a figure in a dressing gown, Chief.
I look a much meaner figure, kneeling astride you, just pounding your head into pulp.
Gary,
I'll take that on advisement, Chief.
It's got to that quite quickly.
I've had an hour of it off air. Out here, outside waiting to come on.
Please verify. I would ring Tony Polinelli. I think he is still with us.
Let's get Tone on.
Tony lives in Canberra, I think.
When you turned 18, did you partake once you
Did
became of the
I used to
legal
bring
age?
my own flask.
Got Brian on the line from Geelong now. Hello, Brian.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Can you verify this with the old enforcer?
I can. I'm a life member of the Geelong Footy Club. I was a boost starter down there for 21 years.
Brian.
Give it away in 2007. And when Sam was there, George Clark was the head trainer.
You're correct, Brian.
And the property steward was Neville Gaynor.
Correct.
And at three-quarter time, Gaynor used to come out with dry ginger ale mixed with sherry. And Scratch and Neil at the time was the big one for it. And that went on till, well, when Blighty comes, that's when it finished.
But mate, that was watered down version.
But that's in the 80s, mate.
Yes, that was still going then. But it finished when John Devine left. That's when it finished.
I'm talking about the 60s, when Bobby Davis was the coach and Bill McMaster and Peter Pianto.
Nobody's around from those days.
Yeah,
You're the only one.
No, I'm not.
You're the last one.
The last of the Oh, no, I'm not, Chief.
You are, I promise you.
Mate, I thank you very much for that. We need someone a fraction earlier in the 60s.
What about Doug? Did he have a sit?
Doug
would have been.
Doug,
he would
if
have
we
had
could
a
get
little
Doug on the line.
See if we can
Please,
get Doug on
someone
the line.
who was around the club in the 60s, Geelong Football Club, will verify the fact. There was tobacco, there was whiskey, there was sherry, there was tarps, everything.
All right, well, let's get to Wheelers Hill. Shane's there. Hello, Shane.
Yeah, g'day, boys. How you going?
What are you bringing to this discussion, please, Shano?
Well, I grew up in Canberra in the 70s, and I remember going to the Ainsley games, and Cowboy Nerd used to give his quarter-time and three-quarter-time addresses to the boys when he was the captain coach, and they'd bring out the oranges and a couple of packets of Benson and Hedges.
What year?
Mid-70s, Sam, maybe late 70s.
Yep.
The guy moved on from a pipe. They started to get a...
Mate, I'm telling you, this...
No, I'm not doubting you. I
was a
don't doubt
little
you from
briar
I'm
pipe.
doubting him.
Yeah.
He had different shaped pipes, you know. You can have ones with crooks in them or
That's
the
it.
straight barrel
Straight.
ones, and he used to bring out the cleaners, those big, long, elongated
How long, would
furry
he,
things.
how long would he pull
Like a
through?
Luke
Puff
Darcy.
on it? How long
What?
would he puff on it for?
Well, he
How many strags would he get out of a good pouch full?
he'd get half a bowl full down before they'd say one umpire in those days would come on and say, wrap it up, boys, and they'd fold the tarp up and
Where'd
have
he
one
go-
more final swig of sherry. And
Where'd he butt out the excess?
no, well, you know, on the back of his football boots. He used to just tap the heel.
Straight onto the turf.
Gary, you've been known to assassinate a ridge
Not a
flavour.
pipe.
No, but a ridge flavour.
No,
Were you
only ever socially, Jim. Only
not a part of your football playing routine?
I don't know, never.
Any Melbourne players in your time partake in
No,
Durry?
you're talking during a game.
Well, either that or before or after.
It's Saturday night at the
Yeah,
local rugby, they might have had one or two, but never saw it during a game.
Saw it during practice games. Yeah, practice games,
You did,
mid-80s,
Chief?
yes.
Did you?
Colin Robertson and Peter
That's
Russo,
right.
two of the fittest blokes at the club.
Yep.
Right.
We would be playing practice games down at Glenferrie, and at halftime they'd be having a
Well,
derby
what are you so staggered that I said that's 25 years after what I'm talking about?
More staggered that the similar story would have been had they then whipped out a bottle of Jack Daniels and started necking that.
Gary, we've got a very important call we've got to get to after the break. So we're just going to take a break now. Man's rung in. He wants a piece of the enforcer.
Oh, I like it.